Here's to you, dear listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Metal Gear Monday's Revengeance, where you'll find your favorite conversations around Metal Gear and Kojima-related content delivered to you through tactical podcast action. I'm your host, Warren Minix, and with me, as always, are a couple of scientists that will give you a double take with even the slightest bit of suspicion. Doctor of Nuclear Physics, Chris Hampton. How we doing?
Oh, let me push my glasses up here real quick.
Nerd. And a Doctor of Rocket Propulsion and Weapon Design, Tori Cortez. How we doing?
Yo!
Listen
That's the right
up.
one, right? Is that the right cue?
Oh, yeah, you did perfect. Well done.
Yes.
So, today we are bringing you an episode where we discuss leaving the Pain boss fight, and we're going to go all the way with our boy, The End. You guys excited?
I'm a little frightened, if I'm being honest.
Why are you frightened, Tori?
I don't know. It's just this lingering fear that I have. I can't really explain it. It's really weird. Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about it later. Maybe. Perhaps.
We got lots of things to talk about, actually.
Yeah, this is like a legit, packed section of gameplay, which has a lot of dope shit in it.
Oh, yeah.
But before we get started, I believe we have a couple notes at the top. Chris, would you like to do a little fun?
Oh, yeah. As always, I would like to give a shout out to Matt, our audio editor. Go check out Matt's band Pale Lungs on Spotify.
Love it. You got anything fun, Tori?
Yeah. Listen, guys, I don't want to brag, but I roped another one in.
Oh, yeah.
I have one more piece of my family donating to the show now. And she's not going to hear this, but I need everybody to know that my lovely mother-in-law is now a patron to the show.
Mama G.
That's perfect.
And all that she knows about it is that she watches me play this weird game where a woman unzips her jumpsuit and is wearing a bikini.
Beautiful. I think it's great. It's a good bonding experience.
It's great. It's a great bonding moment for us both, if you can believe it.
No kidding.
Other than that, I have a little...
Oh, yeah. Here we go. MGM.
Can you hear that?
ASMR with Tori Cortez.
Is that pretty good? Okay. Oh my god, I'm so happy to see this name. I've been hoping that it would come up so I could get an explanation. Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, Bean Boy is in the house.
Bean Boy.
Bean Boy.
Who is Bean Boy?
We're about to find out.
I need the answers.
I saw this name pop up as I was doing the list for patrons, just to get you all of you ducks in a row. And just so many questions popped up. Bean Boy, let's see, since April 2020, we've got a new fan in the house. And I just have to know if you want to tag us or if you're willing to come forward in the Patreon and say hello, or if I should refer to you as Bean Boy, or if there's another name that you prefer, please let us know.
So this isn't Beans from Even Stevens?
Well, that is undetermined at this point.
That's all right, though. I think it's great. I love the name.
Oh, and it's important to note that Bean Boy, B-O-I boy.
Huge importance. Huge difference.
So, thank you, Bean Boy, for the awesome name and for the awesome patronage. We truly appreciate it.
And I'm going to shout out our monthly game club because it is a brand new thing that we have started to do recently. And it is starting to kind of take over, which is great. And I think it's a great idea. So if you do choose to join the Patreon, our patrons have decided that they're going to start their own monthly game club. So we get to pick our games we'd like to set up. We put a poll in, and each month we pick from that poll. You get to vote. And the most recent winner is Shadow of the Colossus. Play it however you can. And we're going to figure out how we're going to talk about it throughout the Patreon. But everybody's really into it, which is very exciting. So definitely a shout out to that. And only $1 a month, you can get into the Patreon. You can get into our Discord.
That's $1.
That's it. All right. So let's get into some flippin' gameplay. Sounds good?
Flip, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Flip. I'm going to kick flip.
Off of a rocket, I hope.
Yes. Or maybe a personal aircraft hover vehicle.
I like that. That sounds futuristic and fun.
So we have defeated the pain. We are walking out of the caverns, and we get to a shallow body of water. We start to trudge our way through, and we hear, I guess, like a like a little hoverboard kind of sound. And there are floating soldiers. Like, they have that kind of technology in the 60s. That's impressive. And I'm going to ask you guys, I don't know how to get past these guys without the crockhead, without getting seen, of course. So what do you got for me?
Well, I mean, Tori, what do you do?
It's funny you say that.
Do you use the crockhead?
I motherfucking got caught with the crockhead on.
Oh.
They still saw my ass. And I don't know if it was just a matter of timing or what, but yeah, I might have popped up for a second at the wrong time or whatever, but I had the crock cap on the whole time, and these guys still saw me. And this was never a problem in previous playthroughs for me, but I think this was the first time I used the crock cap even, so...
Interesting.
It's not getting great reviews from this this player.
One time, one fail. I think the biggest thing for me, and Chris, I think we're going to talk about this here. Mm-hmm. Holy shit, does Snake move so slow in water.
Oh my God, I really hate this.
I forgot how bad. Like, even if you're in like knee-high water, you're basically like eggshells, like real quiet.
It's just...
Yeah,
fucking
just
water.
glub noises. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
So this area is called Podniezovie, which means lower rim.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess we're on the lower rim of this like river area.
That tracks.
Yeah. I used a trank gun on the platform guys.
I definitely did too, even though taking them down with a trank gun still explodes their little hovercraft, so they still die, right?
I would assume.
Yeah.
Does that count towards your kill count or what?
I've lost count of my kill count at this point.
We're gonna learn later in the game if those counted or not, would be my guess.
Yeah. Here's
Tune in. So when you guys get past these two, do you go straight forward, or did you guys happen to sneak off to the left and get like that little secret dock in the corner there?
I went to the secret dock because there's two dock areas, right? There's you duck to the right and there's like two guards on these platforms.
I'm not going to lie. I gotta interrupt for just a second because, and this is a very important thought I should start this out with. So relevant and important. When you said doc, my mind went to MGS3 or Peace Walker. Like there was a document just kind of spinning on the ground. I was like, where's that doc and how did I miss that?
Oh. I'll specify with wet dock and dry dock.
I don't know about that.
So
anyway, sorry, Chris.
No. So Chris, you go off to the left. There's like, before the game story specific dock, there's like a soft one to the left that you could go to. Did you find anything fun there?
Yeah, I found a sniper rifle. And there's some guards that if you set them off, they call in guards with shields, like the riot shields. But if you stay in the water, you can, like, for the most part, knock these guys out. The rainwater, or the rain camo, super helps here.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Raindrop, super helps here.
I agree.
And if I remember correctly, there is a supply depot here for weapons. So if you take that out...
Yeah, you can get like a couple of... I think there's a silencer in there for the M19, 11, and that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's definitely something in there.
Yeah. And it also, like, taking these out has that effect of disarming or lowering the arsenal of guards in that area, too. So it makes it a little bit easier in the next area when you're having to go up the warehouse.
Am I correct in remembering that the way that comes about is if you're in an area and you get caught and they call for support, they literally can't send more guards because there's not enough armor? Or how is it that it comes up when you take away their armory?
If you do their munitions, it is that they maybe have a clip or no like automatic weapons, and they're forced to use their pistols. Is usually how it works for that. So they still have guards, but they're a lot less equipped to fight a snake.
Yeah, they can't use their AKs a lot. They don't have as many riot shields. They don't have like the shotguns or anything like that.
Okay.
Which is great.
Okay, cool.
So now we move forward and we get to a pretty dope cutscene, if I do say so myself. You walk out and basically the whole gang is here. You see Sokolov.
Yeah.
And I guess he's getting bullied by a GRU officer. And I think this is where I truly understand that Volgin is just generic bad guy. Like how everybody else is so much of a character. There's so much cool shit going on. Volgin is just like your run-of-the-mill shitty guy that's just stronger than everybody else. And he also happens to do like lightning stuff. But he is just generic asshole villain. And I think he
also happens to do lightning stuff.
He does. I mean, I'm sorry. I wish that made him interesting, but it doesn't, right? At least that's not what makes him such a cool boss fight when we get to it and all that. It's just he really is very, very one note. But I think that's on purpose. Like, I don't think it makes him boring. It just makes him a perfect, like, comparison or a companion to the boss and all of her sons, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot.
Certainly does make it difficult to classify him a member of the Cobra unit. And I know he's not technically, he's like an addition to it, but there's such a clear distinction, like you were saying, Warren, between our other quote-unquote villains, members of the Cobra unit, and Volgin. Mm-hmm. He's just like not there to mess around, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
It shows the huge difference in like these guys that have this spirit they carry onto the battlefield, right?
Right.
And that's what defines them. But Volgin has nothing but he's just angry and greedy.
Mm-hmm.
That's his only shtick.
Yeah, pretty much. So Ocelot is starting to have a conversation with Sokolov, sort of giving him the rundown when it comes to, you know, I want to know a little bit more about you, basically. And he does we finally see his dope Russian roulette routine. So he's got 3 guns. He loads 6 bullets into them, I guess, and he flips them around, and he takes 6 generic shots, just pop, 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 pop. And hopefully none of them have bullets in it when he shoots you.
One of these 3 guns has a single bullet in it. I'm going to pull the trigger 6 times in a row. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. Why would Volgin be okay with this, though? Because if they accidentally kill the guy who, from my understanding, is the only one that can complete the Shagohod, right?
You would think, right?
Yeah.
So where are we at with that? So at this point, it's still phase 1, right? Or have they shifted into phase 2 by now?
They've not shifted into phase 2.
Right. Yeah. They are able to, but they have not done it yet.
Okay. So yeah, that's an extremely bad move on Ocelot's part.
You would think.
Hence,
yeah, I don't know. And then he gets scolded.
The boss, right?
Yeah, and the boss jumps in like, the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? But it's great. And again, it does. It's a little maternal, right? It's a little like, what are you doing? Like, come on. Like, I didn't raise you like this. Like that. It does feel like that. Like it feels like he's
so
a little something going on.
I have a question about this scene too. Now that I'm really looking at this game critically and the relationships that are developed within it, I wondered, and if there's definitely an answer to this and it's canon and it's widely known, I'll feel dumb, but is this the first interaction that Ocelot and the boss have together, to our knowledge?
To our knowledge, yes. There's that cutscene at the beginning, at the very end of Operation Virtuous Mission, but we don't ever see them directly interact with each other up until this point.
Right, because they're on different helicopters at that point, right?
Yes.
Right.
And I don't know what the organization of this whole unit is, and it's not discussed during cutscenes or gameplay or anything like that. So I had to wonder if this is the true legitimate first experience and encounter that they have together. If so, it's just crazy how quickly she snaps to mom. You know what I mean? just slaps him. You'd better stay in line from now on, and rips apart his fucking gun.
Oh, it's so good. She's so good at that. She makes it look so easy.
And you guys see the scorned look on his face as he's walking away, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing. He's like, God damn it, Mom. So my question is, like, she doesn't know. Flat out, right? Like, Ocelot doesn't know. She doesn't know. Nobody knows, right? Even though they kind of have that thing where it's not sure. Maybe there's a emotion there.
In my head.
But
that's
I believe
totally
it's
the case.
Yeah, they do not know, right? Like, that's a thing.
Okay. And is this something that is better discussed or shown in later installments of the series, or?
I think most of it's through like codec later this game, where you can like secretly find out about a lot of Ocelot. Damn
it! I need to just be mostly doing codec calls and then doing some gameplay. It sounds like.
Yeah, honestly, that's where I at least had read that it's a thing, is that you can find a lot of stuff in the codec calls. So all you that bitched about emails and document files, they even happen in the good games, everybody. So deal with it. So we have our moment, and I do love the, I mean, it is cool. Like Volgan's like punching the wall. He's doing his like Wolverine, got the bullets in his hands thing. He he really is like a straight sadist. Like he how many times does he grab Eva to like burn her leggings because of the voltage running through her? Like, I think this is the first time we see it, but it happens a lot. Like, he loves doing that shit.
It's so creepy.
Right?
Volgan's just a big, creepy jerk.
Yeah. And he's got that shitty line of like, you know, you'll keep me busy till the rain stops. And it's like, you're so gross. Like, I hate you. He's so bad.
Love to hate him.
Yeah. But then I do love where he definitely has a talk and is like, the pain is dead.
The pain is dead.
Volgan's just like, you know, what? Like, what do you mean? And he's like, he's got to, like, Snake has to be one of your kids. Like, yeah, he's young or whatever you were saying, but like, clearly he's one of your sons, right? Like, he's kind of giving him props.
He may be a child, but he's definitely one of yours.
Like, all right, this guy can hang. Maybe, you know, we'll figure it out. But she's like, it's all right. I'll send out the fear and the end. And the fear, like, pushes out the end in a wheelchair. And he's just asleep in the chair. And I just love the dichotomy of the fear just is like, yup, and like trucks it, runs, jumps all over the place. And the end is just asleep in the chair. Like, it's just so ridiculous. But man, I'm like, oh, fuck, I have to fight both of these guys at some point. And it's fucking really cool. So I believe one of us has done the one big secret that we have as far as around the end. So was that you, Tori?
Yeah, I know I did it. Did either of you guys?
I did not, no.
I was planning on, and I still do have the pacifist file open, but I just can't like anymore. I truly enjoy taking that first crock shot that they give you, that little window that they give you right at the end of this cutscene. If you equip your SVD, and you have to time it just right because there's a guard in your way if you are looking through the scope, or I guess if you can get to the right a little bit, but it's kind of hard to line it up just right. Basically what I do is just wait till the end to be just out of the guard's line of sight or out of the way of the guard, and then I just pop as quickly as I can. Which obviously doesn't go that fast, right? Because he has to reload and it takes a minute. But if you can get the end quick enough right then and there, you can avoid having to battle him later.
Yeah.
Did you get hit by the wheelchair?
Avoid a battle. Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I just can't. Once I figured that out, I couldn't play any other way. That's
awesome.
I like the sniper battle, which by the way, I still get to have. It's just different.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to later.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Well, that's cool.
I used to do that when I was younger, but I decided I was going to do like a real playthrough this time around. But then I forgot that this game doesn't have autosave.
Yeah.
So I lost a big chunk of progress. So that sucked, and I ended up having to make up some time by changing up my playstyle a little bit. I noticed that, though, during that Sokolov cutscene with Ocelot. He does the pee-pee thing like Otacon does in the first game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we get our every Metal
right.
Gear PP.
Yeah.
We do get it. You're right.
Metal Gear PP.
If by chance there's somebody new listening to the show right now, I think we should take a minute to recap all those PPs. Can we?
Do you know them? I certainly don't know them.
MGS1 is definitely Hal. Yeah, Otacon. Right outside, right in the locker, right after the Gray Fox, right?
Yes.
Gray Fox fight?
Yeah, Cyborg Ninja.
2 is Emma. Definitely. Is there also a second? Yes, 2 has another PP moment too.
You get the girl PP.
Yeah, Emma, right?
Yeah.
2.
Emma Emmerich. Plus there's a second PP. You guys remember it?
No.
It's an elective PP. You don't have to get the PP in this one, but you can.
Is it Johnny Tsunami?
Johnny Tsunami. I mean,
Johnny
Suzaki. It's funny you should say Tsunami.
Right. I always just called him Johnny Tsunami as a kid, as a joke. So it's like by default, Johnny Tsunami.
Well, that's really appropriate for this one because the way you trigger this is, I think it's when you're going from shell 1 to shell 2, maybe? And that whole big thing where you have a bunch of obstacles and you have only like a foot of a bridge to walk on. So you have to shimmy on over. And then you eventually get to the other shell.
Right.
If I remember correctly.
The guard taking the piss break.
Yeah, from the roof.
Prepare.
And you can walk
loose.
under that if you want to, I don't know, prepare and let loose. I just heard that. Man, Kojima loves him some PP. Okay, so Metal Gear Solid 3.
Man, Kojima loves him some PP.
That's going to go on the next box.
Yeah, I like that. Metal Gear Solid 3, Sokolov, right? Metal Gear Solid 4, do we have a PP?
I don't know.
4?
We have Duty.
We do have Duty. Well, he's got to pee in the box, right? Doesn't he pee when they isn't he in the barrel? And they have to he's hiding in there and he has to smell them. Like, didn't he poop his pants or pee or something at that point too?
Yeah,
Isn't that
there's
how
definitely
they
Duty.
know he's in there or something?
You know, I think in 4 he just goes straight for the shit jokes, and Johnny shits himself.
He does a good amount. Yeah, that's.
By the way, Mama G, I hope you're not listening to this episode. You will hate it. Anyway, back to the story, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
we get to see Ghost Dad when it starts raining.
Right. And I always love that they do make a reference. You see Boss sort of she's always looking sort of out in like the tree line or something. And so they do have sort of a way, instead of just generic, a little toggle on the screen or something that says like, hey, press R1 so you can see the sorrow or something like that. You can just sort of tell by the characters how they're interacting with the cutscene or whatever's going on. I like that a lot. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
And then we get to enter the warehouse. And I think this is where I really was like, wow, we're starting to say it every episode, but man, they did a good job of, now we're in a warehouse, right? So instead of it being a big open area, it's vertical. So there's multiple floors and there's different sight lines and there's ways to climb and jump and move away from all the guards or whatever's there. I just did the generic, get back in the back corner, find the guys that I can, and then when I could get a good height advantage, maybe I'd, shoot them in the head with a trank or something just to kind of knock them out so I could run around freely. But did anybody else have any struggles here as far as the warehouse?
I just used the trank gun, and it was pretty easy to navigate through all of it, going from the top to the bottom. I will say that it was challenging at first to kind of learn to anticipate guards as you were moving up a plane rather than across it. Almost like it was teaching you how to deal with vertical and overhead targets. Like there's some sort of challenge coming up for that or something.
I love it. When game design's a good thing.
Teaching you not to be fearful of these situations.
Correct. It's awesome though. I love it. So yeah. So Tori, how about you? Did you find like the food storage or anything, or did you have any struggles getting through this section?
Yeah, I always look around for everything. I think there's a camo print that you can get here too.
Yeah, you're correct. There's that or a face paint or something, but you're right.
Right. The sucky thing about this playthrough that I'm doing, and I can't remember anymore which file. I decided to have 2 files, which was dumb because my 2 different play styles have merged into both of the files, so I don't know what I'm doing there. But when relying on my trank too much and running out of a suppressor happens, this part is pretty tricky. And I was able to very clumsily get through it. It was okay. And then I tried to leave one guard alive, because once I get caught, basically what I'll do is run around and just fucking throw guards to the ground. It's just the quickest way to get out of that.
Yeah.
Non-lethally.
That is crazy effective.
Right? It's so quick. I've gotten out of many not evasion. What is the one above caution?
Alert.
Sure. Okay. I've gotten out of many alerts.
Yeah, if you get the rant, but you slam them, you don't go into alert.
I know. I love it because they don't have time to react, which took me a while to figure out when I first started playing this game. As soon as I hear that, I'm always going, fuck. So I'll run away. But then I started to get a little ballsy, and yeah, it's pretty cool how you can make that alert go away quickly.
Well, sweet.
But yeah, so I tried to leave one alive to question because I like to interrogate guards wherever I can. But he saw my footprints through the water, which I forgot was a thing.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
So I had to take him out.
Yeah, fuck him.
Like it's crazy because before with water, it was just the sound that you would make.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like footprints as well that you leave from the water. Was that in 2? Did they have the water footprints in 2?
I think so, yeah. I think it's something they brought into. I'm almost positive.
I can't remember where that would be.
It could have been anywhere with I know that like they had melting ice in 2.
They did it as early as 1 too, though.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. So
anyway,
we are making our way. We get through the warehouse and we get outside to a very big open area. Mm-hmm. And I know personally, when I first played this, I was absolutely ready for a boss fight. And I was wrong. But it was very obvious. I'm like, there's climbable trees, there's traps everywhere, but there's no guards. And this place is too big for just like a sandbox. Yeah, learn how to play or something like that. We'll figure out what this ends up being later, but I did enjoy that if you are good enough or patient enough, if you climb a certain tree, I believe on the left-hand side, you can see the fear with like your thermals on, and you can see him like prepping for later. Like that's nothing crazy, cool. But you can see him if you like look for it, which is really cool. So it's something I like.
Can you take a shot at him?
You cannot. I mean, you can, but it doesn't. It doesn't do anything. But it's very interesting that he's like off. He's not in the arena per se, but he is, if that makes sense. So you can physically see him, but you can't interact with him. And it is like a blink and you miss style cameo. He's not just like sitting in a tree where you can sort of watch him. You just sort of see him like fly back and forth, which is really cool.
I think it's so cool that even, I don't know, 8th or 9th playthrough of this game, who knows at this point, there are still things that I'm finding out about. Like that. I never knew you could see the fear before you actually approach his battle.
Oh yeah, there's a couple things with these couple of boss fights here that I knew nothing about. And I had a guide and I didn't know about them. So that's very cool. That's very cool. So yeah, so we're getting through this really big area. We walk our way through and we are getting to Granini Gorky South. We're on our way to the lab.
The lab.
Yeah. And what I do like is you sort of get to that like opening area. And I did anybody have any struggles with like guards, dogs, anything like that? Like what was your entry when you were going from like the gate before you get to the lab, like building?
You're talking about with the electric fence?
Yes, with the fence there. So you have the fence, you have, I guess, I had a couple of guards and a dog. And there was a way to get in on the right, a way to get on the left. There's a little munitions hut, I believe, in the back right there. Did anybody do anything other than I did, which was go up and sneak right in? There's like a little vent on the left-hand side where you could basically avoid everything if you're quick enough because the dog can't chase you fast enough. But did anybody else have any other ways of doing that?
Well, I want to take a moment to note here, like, you're playing the PS2 version. Are you playing the original PS2 version with the old camera style, Tori, or does it have the updated camera?
No, it has updated camera, thankfully.
So I played the original without the updated camera first when I was a kid.
Same here.
And this area is really different with the new camera. Because before, I think essentially it was like 2 hallways that go down and then you have to go up because of the forced perspective of the camera on the outside.
Sure. Okay.
So it was like the challenge of going all the way down to the hole in the fence and then going back up without getting spotted. But with the movable camera, it's easier to pick out your targets and you can like trank the dog and both of the guards through the fence. So that the camera kind of eliminates some of the original challenge in a way.
Oh, sure. Well, that even happened when they did the Twin Snakes, where the whole ocelot fight you can do in first person.
Oh, yeah.
So much easier. Like, just innovation's going to make some inherent difficulties of games gone.
Yeah.
For that exact reason.
Did you get the face paint in the back, though, when you went through that back corner?
Yeah, the little, like, munitions there, or whatever's in the back there. There's, like, a little table and a desk. Yes, I had to.
Yeah.
I'm always going to, if it's like a generic check out the whole map, I'm going to do it because I want to make sure there's not a guard sitting in a chair or something. So I'm always looking for something at minimum. If it's like a hidden item, I might overlook it. But if it's one of those, like it's just in a building in the corner, I'm going to always try to enter that building.
That's right. Guards, no sitting in chairs on Warren's watch. He'll find you.
Not here. Russian soldiers are just like legendary for sitting in chairs. You know what I mean? So I'm just cutting that out immediately.
Just a bunch of chair sitters, and we don't need that.
So I snuck in on the left-hand side in the vent, or I guess like a duct hole, and you get up about, there's like a couple of like trucks there ready to go that can hide your cover. There's tall grass there so you can sneak in without being noticed at all. And then you have yourself the lab building.
Well, hold up, because I went in different.
Oh, what do you got?
So for one thing, I went through the hole in the fence like you're supposed to. I don't think there's any other way in to that part, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. I think mostly I would usually go through that duct you were talking about, Warren, but this time I decided to just see what I could do about the obstacles of the guards and the dogs. First and foremost, because I was crawling everywhere, I got bitten by so many fucking snakes. I got poisoned like 3 times during this bit.
I believe it.
Oh, man, really?
I moved some serum through that body. Otherwise, it was just kind of luck and timing, like absolute luck. At one point, I decided I would trank the dog, knowing that it would bark and draw a guard near. And then while the guard was going towards the dog, I tried to sneak my way into tall grass before he got up to me. But he was like on the screen, the guard was, I don't know, a couple inches behind Snake. Like definitely Snake was in his field of view. But he still wasn't alerted to Snake for some reason, which was, I don't know, lucky, a glitch, I'm not sure. Thanks to camo, I guess. I don't know.
Sure. That's interesting, though. Yeah, I always feel like if they're already onto me, I'm basically screwed unless I shoot them as many times as possible.
Right. Well, that's usually what I rely on, but I don't know. Just the camo is probably your best friend here out of most places in the game.
Definitely. Yeah, and the tall grass is perfect. And it is, like, I love how they do, like, it's kind of nighttime, so you can use that to your advantage in certain parts of it.
Right.
Same for you, though, Chris? Ready to go into the lab? Or at least the outside of the lab?
Yeah. The way I went in was snuck around to the side, knocked on the door, and then I hid behind those boxes.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I forgot that bit of getting in there.
That's a good way.
The guy will come out, and then I just tranked him in the back of the head, went inside.
Oh, see, and you can just run in, too, and he won't even notice. You don't have to do anything about him at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty effective. I like that. So I did the same thing. I Mr. Sandman my way in. I hid right by the trucks there, or at least in the low grass, and shot whoever I could. And then I knew I was far enough out of sight to just, again, take that 400-yard handgun shot if I had to until they just dropped. And when it came to getting into the lab, I did do just the generic right on the side entrance there. So no sneaking in for me. I just went right in the front door.
Hello.
Yeah, but I made sure.
Science.
Yeah, I was appropriately dressed. I had my science coat on, so I was Mr. Science. I was ready. And did anybody have any struggles getting into the lab? Anything rough there?
Nah.
No. Well, okay. So this is where I ran into some trouble. Because I got spotted by the guard that hangs out under that lamppost.
Sure. Yeah, by like the front there.
Everybody like him running over. It got pretty messy, So I took him out. The other guards came over, and I equipped the shotgun, and I just started like blowing them back because they kept coming, and I couldn't get them to stop.
Oh, that's amazing.
I love the way they ragdoll when you blow them away with a shotgun.
Yeah, they just do a full backflip and just clunk.
Oh, yeah. So, and then I ran back to the weapons station in the back and picked up that machine gun.
Yeah.
And blew up that station.
X16M something.
XM850 Alpha Beta, whatever. I don't know the name of the guns.
I think it's
guns.
like XM16E1, something like that.
The guns are guns.
Yes.
Somebody's typing up a tweet right this moment.
Oh man, someone is just typing right now.
Yeah, Warren, self-proclaimed gun nerd, does not know name of machine gun you pick up in the munitions hut in front of the lab in Granini Gorky.
Okay, so it's called the XM16E1.
Hey, I got it right. Look at that.
There you go.
All right, maybe I did know.
Good work, Warren.
I know the guns really well that I never use. So
that's a nifty skill.
Yeah, I guess. It's like knowing words to songs that you'll never listen to again. So I'm in the lab, and I got my science gear on, and I have my glasses. And anytime someone gets weird, I just press the nerd button, and I fix my glasses so that they know that I'm super nerd. I'm clearly the most scientist.
What, does that have a use? Does that actually... They watch you press your glasses up and go, yes, scientist.
So the scientists, if your back is turned or you're like perpendicular to their line of sight and you're like in the bookshelves there, you can nerd button and they take like an extra 2 or 3 seconds to actually bother you. So it doesn't like turn them away completely, but they're like, well, okay, I'm sorry. He just looked odd because, his vision was impaired while gathering knowledge. So they'll take a few seconds, but it won't like, oh, you're good, nerd. Like they don't, it's not like that, but it's a delay button.
That's good to know because I can never not get spotted by the scientists. They know I'm not one of them. They just always do.
Yeah, I had to move so fast, and I put it in the notes here. Do you guys have the struggle too of the accidental you're trying to walk slow, you want to move fast, and you just boom, you just slam a door open and just let everybody know that you're an angry scientist. Like I never want to, but I keep forgetting that if you're running, you can't like hit a button. You just fucking slam that shit, and I don't care if anybody's in front of it.
And I love the 1-2 of it, the sound, the cuckoo.
Oh, I know.
It's just so like aggressive.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah.
Oh, that one gets me. Now in the remaster, at least on the PS3 one that I'm playing, if you guys notice when you are just sort of checking out some of the lab stuff, like you can go upstairs and downstairs, and you basically have to find Sokolov wherever he's hidden. You can find a bunch of cool stuff, like the cigar spray thing is really cool, where you can make like you're smoking and you can knock people out.
I'd never gotten this before. I did not know this was a thing until this playthrough.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Never seen them. Still haven't used them.
I may use those cigs in a later discussion in this episode.
The cigarettes are really handy.
Super handy.
More so than the cigar, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it works well against enemies if you need to. So it's very helpful.
Yeah. With the scientists, especially when they are checking you out, like Warren mentioned,
when they're acting a fool.
Yeah, it's really easy to get the cigarette spray out and knock them out real quick.
Well, fuck me. So many hours. All right. Okay. This is good to know now.
Yeah. So when we replay it again, you're gonna be so prepared.
Snake Eater reprise.
Yep.
Remastered.
Yeah, exactly.
Again.
Now, at least I don't remember in the old game, but I did know to always look for magazines and stuff like that were just lying about the place in other games. And I know that they were definitely something fun in the OG, but in the PS3 Mastered that I'm playing, the magazines that are sort of like on the desks for the scientists and for the soldiers, they're like PlayStation magazine. And it's pictures of Solid Snake, and it's like MGS3 is awesome. Like that's basically what it says on the cover. And there's like maybe 3 or 4 different variants of them, but they're really cool. Like, and you can like just first person zoom in and get like a whole like wide of like the entire cover, and they're like pretty well rendered, so you can actually like get a good screenshot of it. And they just look like generic ass video game magazines, and I love it.
That's fun.
Yeah. So we're going upstairs, we're going downstairs. We want to find Sokolov. We go up top, we get our key that we need, we get into the room because no scientist found us, right? We never alerted anything. We are the utmost spy.
We're sneaky boys.
We're so sneaky. No one used any shotguns. Nobody did anything crazy, right, in this lab. We just were taking our time real slow, right, Chris?
Well, so the first time I did a pretty good job. We're in the scientist outfit and the mask and using the cigarettes and made my way through without alerting anyone. However, I forgot that there is no autosave in this game. And when I took a break and came back to it, I had lost a good chunk of progress and had to come back through this area again a second time. So what I did is just shirtless Snake with the Raiden mask on and a shotgun just running through, boom, boom, boom. Because I was like, I don't have time to be sneaking through this building and like, doing this the right way. So I'm just going to blow a hole through the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. You were Terminator.
I just imagine a guard coming around, you getting that alert sound real quick, and then poof, and then the alert goes down.
Well, you can check Chris's Twitter, and he has a nice little short video of
a
little snippet of what that would look like. And it cracked me up because as soon as it starts is him shirtless with a Raiden mask on. I was like, oh, this is going to be worth watching.
Good start.
So we think we're going to find Sokolov. We get up to, I guess, the office area where we had intelligence that he was being held. And we don't see Sokolov there. We meet a very drunk, but a very talkative Granin. And I got to say, this guy is kind of the fucking best. Like, I love drunk, like just kind of shitty Granin with his flask, and his office is full of like cool shit everywhere. Like we all kind of just started dropping all the Easter eggs we found. Like there's some Zone of the Ender stuff in there. Like we end up getting like a really cool talk. Like it's very interesting how we learned about the other side of what's going on with Sokolov, right? So Granin was like the chief weapons analyst or whatever you want to call him, as far as he basically designed the early sets for what the Shagohod now is. And he ends up showing us later in the conversation what he was working on.
It's him you're looking for, isn't it? Because of him, I have been stripped of my authority. My research has come to nothing. Look. It is a revolutionary mobile nuclear missile system. A bipedal tank.
And so he basically got pulled. They like Sokolov's idea better, so all of his funding got pushed. They give it to Sokolov, and we have a little taste of the philosopher's legacy. He does drop that they use that and pull the funding, which is like, we don't need to know that, but it's important to keep in the back. Granin, well, you talk about Granin's shoes. We're talking about what makes a good tank, and he kind of slaps his knees to be like, legs. Legs are what'll make the future. It makes no sense. Like a bipedal tank sounds so dumb in the 60s, if you had to ask me.
Yeah. So you can call Sigint and talk to him after this conversation, and he'll give you the lowdown on how stupid it is.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll
Talks
name
mad
drop
shit.
A few names. I just love Granin though. He's like this old drunk Russian dude. He's like old school Russian, and he's pissed because Sokolov's a traitor. He loves being a fucking commie.
Yeah.
And he's like, I have the Hero of Socialism award. I did all this and that. And I just love this old fat drunk Russian slapping his legs.
Oh, it's so good.
And I halfway in my head just wanted him to be like, well, you know what they need? Big old meaty loins.
But I do love, we're talking to him, and I do love the snake's like, you're crocked, aren't you? Like, you're just a shitty drunk right now. And he's like, whatever, I love my country. And he shows us the plans that he was working on, right? Drops them on the desk. And
what did we see?
We see a little bit of Metal Gear Rex action going on, I believe.
What?
And I love that he's sort of like
Metal Gear.
He's built like we're trying. What does he say? We try to like bridge the gap between infantry and artillery, and so I guess he means like a link in the chain. And he says a sort of Metal Gear, as you'd say. And then of course we get Metal Gear, and yeah, I love it. It's an Easter egg. I don't care. It's everything it needs to be. It's cute, and oh my god, I love it.
All right.
It's whatever.
It's like the when the character says the name of the movie.
Right?
Yeah, the titular line. That's the best. Titular lines can be like so much fun in a movie. So basically he is the enemy of your enemy. So he's now like, you know what? I'm just going to help you out. Here's where Sokolov is being held. But I do love, it's like the first drop of Groznygrad, the fortress, the impenetrable fortress, which is really cool, where it's just like, I can't wait to get to that because they keep building it up and up and up. And tells you where he sort of is, and he says you can't just walk in the front door. Like, that's not how it works. But there's a secret entrance tunnel underneath. You can sneak under, get in, and you got to go north to get to that. So here's my key to get you there. And they do it a lot where a lot of people would bitch about backtracking, but he's like, remember that warehouse you were just in? Do you remember that red door you passed? And I personally was like, yeah, what the fuck is that door? Like, it's so boldly colored. And he's like, that'll get you through, and you can take that to Groznygrad. And I love it. So I make my way back. I'm excited to get to that warehouse, and all my guys were still sleeping. So I don't know. I'm sure all your guys were dead, Chris, so you should be fine. Getting right back to to there.
They actually repopulate the area after the cutscene.
Oh, damn. I guess that's if you kill them, because my guys were like, not everyone was still asleep, but the ones like immediately outside the lab were still asleep. Because I noticed that like seamless transition. If you crawl, at least when I crawled in from the left, it was just like it did the black bars to let you know like you're changing scenes, but you just basically walk right through and it just keeps going, which I really do.
Well, once you hit a certain number of dead bodies, the bodies start to disappear from the play area in the game.
Of course, yeah, you're playing.
Mm-hmm. I forgot to take my mask off though during that whole interaction with Granin, so I looked like a huge dork.
Yeah, same, man. Especially you see Raiden's face go, Metal Gear.
Yeah,
except the lips aren't moving.
The lips aren't moving. So what the fuck, Sigint? Where's your fancy mask at?
Well, he can blink at him though, so we got that going for us.
Right.
Thank God for that.
So we make our way back. We're getting ready to get to that warehouse, right? We get back to that nice big open area that I was confused about what was going on. And we meet one of our baddies, one of our cobras. And you walk out and you get shot with a crossbow bolt right away. And I guess it's tipped with poison. Like you can see him already having like some sort of a conniption with what's going on. It's a really cool intro because it's very Predator. Right, he's up in the trees. You're supposed to be this commando style guy, and I don't know. How do we feel about the Fears sort of welcoming party for Snake?
Well,
fuck him.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Chris.
not...
I think I stole your line, but fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him. Exactly is how I feel about it. To be honest.
Yeah, he does feel very henchman, right? Like, he just has cool tools, but he's not interesting outside of his ability.
Plus, he's got that evil laughter thing going on the whole time.
Yeah, no kidding. And he does not shut up either. I will say, what I was expecting when he does like his, first off, he's got to tell you like, I'll show you fear you've never imagined, right? And he's got to do that. You got to pun it. And I honestly thought outside of getting, so you get shot with some crossbow bolts, you get shot with the Brazilian spider venom, tipped dart. You dig it out, you throw some serum in, no big deal. I thought that the serum would stop you from dying, but since it had been coursing through your veins through that cutscene, there would be some sort of an effect in the game, which is not true. I definitely have been putting this game more on a pedestal for things that probably don't have to be there, but I was very surprised by him saying that it was just a simple, use a knife, pop the bolt, do your little suture, take some serum, call me in the morning style. With that sort of piece. I was a little confused by that, but I'm not complaining, but I was a little surprised that it was as simple as that.
Yeah.
So now the fear has a lot of cool shit that has to do with his fight that I did not know about. And the first one, and this is the one I did in the playthrough. I did play through this a couple times though, just so I could say I did it, quote unquote. You can take the fake death pill here. You collapse. Fear drops down and just goes like, and you were a son of the boss. He walks up and he just turns his back like you're dead. You take the revival pill, throw a stun grenade, shoot him with any weapon you want, and when he's stunned, he loses his stamina. So I just pulled out the machine gun and just pop, 3 seconds, the fight's over.
Well, fuck.
And it was amazing to the point where I don't know how I didn't do that before. So the fight that when we were talking, Tori, that was not that fight. The fight I had to do was learn his patterns, stop him from eating. The other one that's really effective as well is eventually you're going to fight him, and it can be a stamina battle. So if he constantly is running around using that camo that burns his stamina crazy fast. So in the arena, he'll shoot animals or he'll shoot those Goldovas and drop them so he can eat to recharge his stamina. And he'll do that almost infinitely. I mean, there's probably hundreds of fruit that he can eat. What you can do is be faster than him, pick up that food and drop the poisonous mushrooms that are also in the area. And if you do that, he'll basically vomit, get poisoned, lose a huge chunk of health, and make like the grossest wet mouth sounds ever when he's doing it. And those are like by far, I was like, how did I not think of, like I knew about the poison one. That's the one I used to do when I was younger, where other than just being really good at first person shooting. The other one is like my new favorite, and that's like a speedrun strat. You just fake death pill, drop a stun grenade, hit him with the machine gun, literally an 8-second fight, Bob's your uncle.
Interesting.
How'd everybody else do with this?
Tori? You want to give us the lowdown here?
Well, I tried to do my pacifist run here, and I did get fucking just... He refills his stamina so fucking quickly, and I couldn't... So I guess my mistake was attempting to shoot him with the tranq gun as much as I did while he was already burning stamina, because that made it very difficult for me to be faster than him to get to the food he's shooting down. So I tried and failed at that several times before I finally was just like, oh right, I actually am on my file that I have for killing everyone mercilessly. So I just switched to the AK, and I mean, it was like a 3-minute fight tops.
Yeah.
I was annoyed, so.
I get it. I put in the notes, I'm like, guys, I'm not good at this game. Like, I'm not good at MGS3 anymore.
Right? I feel much worse at it than I used to.
I totally agree.
I do want to note here also, Chris, I hope I'm not stepping over whatever notes you had here, but one thing that's really nice is to get really stocked up on those Russian glow caps from the caves. And if you're like me and using your thermal goggles the whole time for this fight, or just not being conservative with them, you can just eat one of those Russian glow caps and your battery goes back up, like not full, but maybe a quarter at a time.
Yeah, it charges a lot. Definitely. So what about you, Chris?
Yeah, so what I found was that if you blow up that ration depot inside the lab, it will also affect the fear's hunger as well.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah. So what I did was I just put on some thermal goggles, equipped that machine gun, and aimed at the sky and just started going to town. And
that's amazing.
Yeah. And eventually his stamina was like pretty affected by that. And he came down and started eating food. And that's when I equipped the shotgun and we'd run up behind him. And I just emptied a whole clip of the shotgun into his back. And the fight was over in like 2 minutes.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those, it can be a very frustrating fight if you just try to do the loop over and over again, because he is a very, nimble fighter. You can't see him unless you're basically, you have to know where he is. You look for the leaves to fall maybe, but you have to use the gear that you have. And I do want to leave a note though. I do love his little crossbows. They are cool as shit.
Right. He's got a couple of them, right?
Yeah, he's got the William Tell and the Little Joe.
Yes. Tell us more.
Well, so they're designed like, what's very interesting about it is that the William Tell is like your standard crossbow. Like that's just what it is, like what we all think of. So think of, Walking Dead style. Like that is what that basically looks like. The Little Joe, we are going to see later in the game, because when we have now defeated the Fear, they sort of like throw the Little Joe saying the Fear is dead. And that's how we would know, because his little sidearm is gone. And Ocelot has a little fun with it later. But yeah, it was a very interesting fight. Like I said, I learned very quickly that I'm like, man, I'm not as good at Metal Gear Solid 3 as I thought I once was. And I need to get better at this. And I only learned even more that I'm bad at it when we get to our next boss fight. So,
right.
Oh, I do want to add here. I know we're not trying to delve too much into codec calls, but one of them that I made, I decided to try and grab some more of them because I'm realizing a lot through this playthrough that I don't know half the shit that gets talked about in this game, apparently. So I'm just trying to make every scenario possible for a codec call. And I called after the end of the Fear battle. And just the way that Snake delivers this line to the Major, he's so full of concern and worry. He says, "Major, why do they keep exploding?" just like so fucking confused and concerned. And it's just, oh man. Anyway, Sigint hops on eventually and tells him they must all be equipped with microbombs, because back at the beginning of the Cobra unit, it sounds like, through his research, I guess that's what they were using, because their shit was so top secret that they couldn't even leave a corpse behind.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Which I thought was really interesting. And then Snake delivers this really groovy bit of foreshadowing and says something like, maybe they're ready to die. They've got no country to go back to.
As if they're a military without borders. It's interesting.
I know, weird, right?
Wonder if that's like a thing later. So yeah.
No, it doesn't come back.
So we beat the Fear. And we get to go back. We get back into the warehouse. I didn't have any issues. It was just basically remembering that, there's always a guard on the stairwell. There's probably a couple guards patrolling the main floor. I had height advantage at that point, so it was super easy to just take out the top guy and then maybe make my way down. The slam makes it super helpful with just walking behind him, slam him down, and run down a couple of steps, pop.
I just really love slamming them to the ground. It's that and just exploding barrels. So much fucking fun.
Daryl the barrels.
Wow.
It's good though. I love it. Get through the red door. We make our way and we walk out and we're in this like whole new area and we're on our way to Groznygrad now. And we get a really long codec call with Eva. And she sort of starts talking about the Shagohod a little bit. She's still like feeding us intel about what's going on. And again, they talk about Groznygrad, so where Sokolov now is there, and they keep hyping, like that's like a hype track for it. Like they keep saying it's Volgan's impenetrable fortress. And every time there's like 10 buildings, and I'm like expecting like 4,000 guard. Like the whole army's there. Is like the way they build it up, which is really freaking cool. Like I do like it a lot. But I do love that she's talking and she's like, well, you can't just walk in there. And he's like, yeah, I know. Grannon helped me out. Like, he gave me a key. And she's like, why? He's like, I don't know. Maybe he was drunk. Like, I don't have an answer. And she's like, no, that key's not going to do it. Like, that just got you to where you are. I'll take care of it. Meet me on your way there and we'll talk. And I'll figure something out.
We'll talk.
Yeah, exactly. Of course. And so it was just a very standard, very open map. It actually wasn't so bad. More terrain, nothing that was too much of a struggle. Eventually you get to that east sector and there's like that little shed in the back corner. And I don't know why this is the one that I was struggling to pronounce. Chris, if you want to do Chris's Russian one. Yes, there you go. So when I got here, I didn't have that much trouble with this gameplay spot at all, but when you get to that shed on the east sector, I love that there's a tree in the back you can climb to get on the roof. And on the roof, there's a slat that's missing, and you can basically take out anybody that's inside if you're patient enough through the slat in the roof. Then you can drop in, take care of the guys around the outside with nobody noticing anything. And I thought that was really cool because I never did that before. I would just pop them from far away, knock on the door or anything, like sneak in, see where the guy is through the window, and just shoot him through the window. But
the cabin is super cool in that way. It's got lots of little hidey holes and
underneath and sides. You can jump through windows. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'd never noticed any of those until this playthrough. I caught the one underneath the floorboards myself. What about you, Chris?
Well, I was just in full shotgun mode at this point, running through. So I just kind of ran up in the cabin. You know, guards probably saw like this guy running at them from the woods with a shotgun. Like, what's going on?
Monty Python's dun 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 dun.
Yeah. Where are my coconuts at?
Exactly.
So on my trusty steed, I'm running up with the M37 shotgun, and I just to the gut. You know, you see the static from their radio breaking as they ragdoll over the balcony and the porch of this cabin.
Oh my God.
You hear glass breaking from the windows and like people like, oh, what was that noise?
Yeah, this is straight up just a horror. This is a horror movie if it's from the soldier's perspective.
Sorry, we're out of reinforcements. You're on your own.
Yeah. That also means good luck. I'm not fucking touching that.
Yeah. I think if you just hit a certain kill count in an area, they just straight up run out of guys.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Which is
earlier.
Cool though, because I think that is almost believable. Like they're like, we're not going to flood this area. We have other places that need to be guarded. So that is somewhat believable in a sense. But you'd think like they drop like an airstrike or something.
Killed everybody already. Yeah. Sorry. Got to deal with it. So that's how I dealt with that. I took out the rations depot again here.
Oh, you have to.
Yeah. And it's crazy to me how like I took out the rations depot and it takes effect immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, God, I'm so hungry. It's like they weren't.
Just hungry immediately. Like, what were they running to the snack shed?
Yeah.
And having little munchies every 20 minutes during their guard shift or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a fun little area. And I think the game is kind of ramping up at this point, putting more of these indoor areas that you can explore and play around in. Also, the Russian name of this area, it's a little Russian lesson. Svyatogorny means holy mountain.
Damn right, bro. The soldier's full of holes. Totally agree.
Yeah, there's lots of holy things left on this mountain.
So yes.
I'm trying to understand what that might be referenced to. I guess we'll find out, huh?
Yeah. So I thought I was lost because I had no idea that was like not a secret area, but it's just sort of its own little sandbox, like its own little paintball area that you can play in.
Yeah.
So I finally found my way back and I'm like, oh, right, north. I have to keep going north, Warren. Every time it says north is a good thing. Like, stop going east and west right now. And you walk out to this place and I'm going to say it right here. The end is the most fucking badass guy. I love him. I love everything about this character, everything about his how he sounds, what he says, how he says it. Everything about him is just cool as shit. So you walk out, and he's already up on a ridge somewhere, asleep. They show like a snake crawling over him. His parrot flies down to like wake him up. Hello, hello, and wakes him up, and he just starts this like 5-minute like monologue to, I guess, Snake, but he's so far away from him because when you do R1, you can hear him perfectly, but all you see is trees. You can't see him at all.
I beg of you, grant me the strength to take this final prey. Let me linger in this world just a little longer. I have already slept enough for one lifetime.
Yeah, man, that's the thing that these Cobra unit members love to do. They love to whisper to each other from afar.
They're just a bunch of drama boys, little drama babies. They like to show off.
Yeah, but he really doesn't. He sort of just says, like, if you beat me, great. And he has like the coolest fucking lines. Again, like he's just like, thank you for waking me up. Like, thank you for letting me out of this.
What's more, he gets really disappointed when he beats you. He's like, and I thought you were better.
Yeah.
You end up disappointing him by dying. How sad.
Like, he's just so fucking cool, man. I just love everything about him. He's definitely like the soldier. He's seen, he literally says like in his over a century that he's fought so many battles. And I love the line of just like, eventually he knows he's going to not be needed to fight anymore. So he's just like, yeah, right. Then I'll die for real. Like, he's just so, I don't know. He struck me as like, if there was one that was like a G with the boss that wasn't like the Sorrow or like someone that's like her equal. He's just like, I don't know how they met up, but that's a fucking cool story right there. However the boss met the end. I really want to know that. Like the fear and the pain, they're, like I said, they're very henchman-y. They're very Mega Man villains. But the end is like, as far as sniping goes, he's your equal, right? Like he is as well trained as you without needing any extra bullshit. He uses the same gun that you use, except his knocks you out as opposed to kill because he doesn't want to kill unless he has to, right?
Yeah, so that's the thing. If you lose here, you're just taken back to jail.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not game over.
Mm-hmm.
Just sit in your cell and think about why you've lost this.
Yeah.
Try again tomorrow.
This is like a challenge, whereas like the others, they're trying to kill you or stop you, whereas the end is like, no, you have to prove your worth before you can get past me.
That's what makes them so good.
I wonder too, I've thought about this in some ways. Is it a taunt? Is it motivation? Is it showing off in his own way? Like, why do you think that is? Why isn't he interested in just killing Snake?
Because he's better than that. That's why. Because the end's the fucking best. So? I think so. I think he literally understands his mission, and he knows his mission isn't to kill Snake. That would be a Volgan thing, not a boss thing. And he doesn't work for Volgan, if you ask me. So yeah, you get to have a fun. You get to have a fun codec call with Eva, and that's where we learn that he has. I've been trained in sniping in marine and suburban environments. And he basically is like, well, in terms of stamina, I should have him beat. He's well over 100 years old. And Eva's like, no, I'm pretty sure this guy might still Snake. Fuck your day up.
You're so funny, Snake.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, man, his voice and everything is just I am the end. He's so good. I love the end so much. So how did the boss fight go for you guys? We have multiple maps we can travel. He has multiple sniping points. If you're playing on an easy enough difficulty, they'll literally show you, like, if you were to map out where you try to kill you can see those like circles on the map. Did anybody have any struggle with the fight? Because I did, and I'll go into detail after I hear a little bit from you guys.
So, Tori, I don't know. Do you want to go first?
Sure. Well, first, I have to say that my fight was different. So
Oh, right. Yeah.
I'll get into that actually after you guys talk about the fight with the end here, because I don't want to break up the flow. But I will say, in previous playthroughs, I think my tried and true method was to use the directional mic to listen for him breathing, because he's a wheezer, you guys. He's not... You can hear his age pretty
Especially
well.
after he runs, too. You can hear him like really
For sure.
catching his...
Or the parrot. I think I sometimes listen for the parrot, too, but that's less often than just his wheezing.
Sure.
And then once I got the direction, I would just kind of move around to different positions, undercover as best as possible to discern his location. If not with the thermal goggles, then trying to find the reflection off of his scope, because that'll sometimes happen in sniping battles. And then, I would just, once I got the shot on him, ideally with the non-lethal SVD, if I picked it up at that point. Is that a thing?
Not until you beat him.
Oh, snap. Okay. Well, then, I would take a shot at him and then try my best to run to where he was and throw those thermal goggles back on to look for his footprints. So it didn't always work out exactly that way, but that's how I would have attempted it.
Nice. So I did want to... I was really working really hard at being good enough at this game that I could get all of the ammo, like, and all the camo from them when you trank them. Now, the end is special, as when you trank him to death, you only get his gun. You do not get his ammo or get his camo. The only way to get his camo is if you have to literally hold him up. And I'm not good at holding people up, y'all. So so many times, I mean, it might have been a dozen times across multiple fights I don't know, I could never get close enough to him. I believe maybe there was a struggle with maybe he wasn't asleep, because he's supposed to fall asleep when it rains, like something like that, if I remember correctly. And basically my struggle was the fact that he would always know that I was within maybe 5 feet of him. So I could never get close enough to give him a freeze. And after 45 minutes, I mean, really, of just trying to get good at it, understanding his patterns, I don't know if it's just I'm not moving more effectively, because it's a sound thing. It's not a camo thing. That I just was like, I'm just gonna defeat him, the old-fashioned way. So I was able to get close enough to him where he'd find me. I could pop him. He'd try to throw a flashbang at me, and I could just turn my back so it doesn't affect my sight. Kick on the thermal goggles, follow his footprints, rinse and repeat until the fight's over. But I think I've tried maybe 10 times, and I'm like, I don't understand how I tried like holding regular soldiers up. I'm not good at Metal Gear Solid 3, guys. I'm really worried about the Vulcan fight, because I remember having a lot of struggle. So I'm waiting to see when that happens. But Chris, hopefully yours was a little better than mine.
Well, I don't know about better, but I will say that, so this first area, what I ended up doing was just trying to sneak around with the camo, and I found him sitting up on top of the hill using the thermal goggles, but he ended up spotting me and shooting me. What I ended up doing was sneaking up to the north area, coming back, finding him on that second cliff over there.
Sure.
And I just took him out with the sniper rifle. And This is where he started teasing me. He went straight to the north area, and I thought I saw him, but it was a goat in the very back. The goat got me.
I forgot goats are in this section. Oh man.
Yeah. So
did you collect it and eat it?
Yeah, I did collect the goat and eat the goat.
Nice.
Yeah.
So a fun fact with this fight is if you enter the Konami code, it'll tell you where he is on the map.
What the fuck?
How cool was that?
That's game breaking.
On the map.
Did not know that until this most recent playthrough. It was not in the guide. I checked every freaking page, because I was like, I would have loved to have known that, just to try it, because that's just a fun immersion tactic.
Yeah.
Kojima's such a sneaky snake.
I know.
So what's up, Chris? What was the rest of yours?
Yeah, he started teasing me in the north area, but I found him, and I was able to sneak up on him, and I got him with a shotgun. And then he got mad at me. He gets mad at you if you kill his parrot. And I killed his parrot when I went at him with a shotgun. And that's when the gloves come off and he just goes fucking blind fury at you.
Oh, dude, yeah, he can fucking move.
You know, it starts raining when you go to this north area.
Sure.
Or at least it did for me. So I put on the raindrop camo, and my camo was like 95 when I was creeping along the ground. But that also means when it stops raining, that steam with the thermal goggles messes everything up.
Oh, I have noticed that through certain levels.
Yeah, this is they paid like real close attention to detail here. It's crazy. So what I've found though is that with the thermal goggles on, it lights up his footprints, right?
Yes.
And when he's recharging via photosynthesis, he'll show up super, super bright.
Yes.
So I just like literally was chasing him around the map with a shotgun. Nice. And I was like, I had him like, he was like right in front of me most of the time. And I was just running after him with a shotgun, trying to get close enough to where like the spread of the bullets would hit.
I did feel pretty cool. I was able to get a couple of hip shots, like where I didn't need to go first person while he was running away. I would just like get like 2 shots off and I'd hit him with one. And I was like, yeah, more of that. Like I feel like I was kind of good at something, but as soon as it's first person, I'm fucking useless. And I don't understand why, but he owned me. Other than if I could play him at his own game, I was able to hold my own. But when I was supposed to do the extra fun stuff, I got fucking just like thrown out with the bathwater.
Chris, I'm trying to imagine your method being the one chosen for whatever Metal Gear Solid movie comes of all of this. Just Snake waving a shotgun around.
I'm coming.
Chasing the end, killing his parrot, inciting rage, and still just running to and fro with that shotgun.
He's like running away from you. This isn't how this is supposed to work out. This is supposed to have a sniper duel. I don't care about your duel.
Yeah, you're just like eating snakes, like stamina for days.
Oh,
so we beat the end.
Wait.
Oh, go ahead.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
Let me get you the other perspective. If you were like me and decided to take that crock shot back at the exterior of the warehouse. So your codec call with Eva comes up, and instead of telling you that the end is there waiting for you, she tells you that the ocelots are there planning a sabotage for you before you can go to the tunnel that you're expected to go through to meet her. So it's the same territory. It's the same challenges. You see the fog through the thermal goggles. You still get a chance to raid that armory and food bank. And it's just a sniper battle, but with, I think it's 8. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone, but I think it's 8 ocelots again. And you can still use the same tactics. You can use your directional mic. You can use the thermal goggles. You can just fucking run around and juke them with a shotgun if that's how you are into it. But yeah, so you have to get all 8 of those guys before you can pass. And I don't know. My playthrough of this was pretty sloppy, honestly. Again, I'm with you on this, Warren. It's taking me talking about this on air to realize I'm not good at this game. Not nearly as good as I think I am.
Yeah, it was rough, man. I don't know what it was. I mean, like I said, I could beat him at his own game, but once it came to that, and I was very tempted to just do change the PS clock to a week later so he just dies of old age. And I would have loved to have gotten that codec call, but it didn't feel right.
That's an even bigger crock than taking the crock shot.
Agreed.
I do want to say one more thing before we move on, because Warren, I think it was you that was mentioning something about interrogating. This is one of my very favorite things to do. It's, except for the fact that I kill probably 75% of the people I'm trying to interrogate. Although I have learned a way to break that cycle. So remind me to tell you that later. But one thing I just wanted to note is that I always sort of wished you had, like in your Skyrims or other games like this where you have Witcher games, for example, where you have an option for dialogue instead of just Snake going, speak. But then again, so this is where I started the thought, but then I interrupted myself with this thought to say, but then again, I love that he's talking to these guards like dogs. He just comes up behind them, gives them a knife in the throat and says, "Speak."
Very Batman.
Right? Time is of the essence, I guess. So it makes sense, but I don't know. It was just always one of those things I kind of wished, another missed opportunity. One of those things I kind of wished would be a part of this game, because you've got so many options for other interactions, right? You can heal yourself, you can choose what you want to eat, but there's no dialogue selection.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
And with the amount of dialogue in this game, you guys, I just really feel like I feel like these games would benefit from that style.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah. I mean, especially how it's been proven to be a very common thing in most game design now, if that's what they're going for. And it's been proven effective for a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
If this Fox Engine version of Snake Eater ever comes out, here's hoping.
If we talk about it enough. I read The Secret, guys. If we think about it hard enough, it'll be here.
Bring it to you, Warren.
So we beat the end, and we get like a really cool little, he's like, yeah, thanks. Basically, he's very excited to be one with it. You bested him. He appreciates it. If you killed the parrot, you get like a ghost parrot that like floats down on him.
Chris, you jerk.
So you got ghost parrot, Chris, I would assume.
I got the ghost parrot.
Now, did you kill the parrot on purpose?
No, I did not kill the parrot on purpose. The parrot was just sitting on his shoulder.
And you shot him with a shotgun.
I shot him with a shotgun.
In the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I read in your notes that you feel like a jerk for shooting dogs.
Yeah, I do.
But parrots, no.
Give him wings. Fuck him.
I'm just giving you shit.
I feel like a jerk shooting any animal, really.
Yeah, I'm just giving you shit. You're just lucky my birds aren't in here for this.
It's really interesting that Kojima said in like some sort of, I think it was an IGN interview, that he originally wanted the boss fight with the end to last 1 to 2 real life weeks.
Whoa.
Man, Kojima, it's a good thing they put some restraints on Kojima's creativity.
I mean, I guess it could be fun, but Jesus, how do you pick up where you left off?
Reaction. Mm-hmm. Gut reaction. Would you have put the game down?
Yes.
If that was the case.
I wouldn't be on this podcast right now.
Yeah.
If I'd have known ahead of time, maybe I would be more prepared for it. Like I've had my Final Fantasy 12 moments with the million HP bosses and all that stuff. But if I didn't know that, and this is like not an option, right? Like you have to fight this boss unless you knew that secret thing in the back. I don't know if that would have been very frustrating for me. I mean, a couple hours would be fine, but weeks seems crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like the map's not big enough for weeks of play.
There's no game that's interesting enough to last that long and still be fun. But I like the end result that we have here. This is probably one of the best boss fights. I don't know. We have another one at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But I think this one, I just love the variety and how it really does feel like if you're not smart enough on your way to this fight, you have to like also pay attention to like killing the rabbits and eating them and finding food if you didn't pack enough instant noodles or anything because you were using them for other reasons.
Yeah. Or your food spoils.
Right. Yeah. Or you're not using stuff that spoils and it literally would just be rotten and it's useless because the boss is too smart to use, that's on you for not being able to heal up. And it's only really like 15 minutes of gameplay and you're out because if you don't take those darts out of you, they just take your stamina. So you have to be like really vigilant throughout the whole fight. And it feels like an eternity if you don't know what you're doing and it's maybe an hour, right? If you know what you're doing, it's a 10-minute boss fight maybe where you just do your thing and you can't just one and done them. Like I really like this fight and I really love this character.
Well, that's what I love about this game in general is that it forces you in a lot of ways to think about this in a more creative way because you really can't just run and gun any of these guys. You have to think about your strategy and you have to rely on a set of tools that you might not ordinarily go to. And I'm still running into new items, like we talked about earlier, that SIG spray I've never used before, and I plan on it.
That is effective against the end. If you get close enough to him, you can SIG spray him, and it takes out a lot of stamina.
You can use the fake death pill trick with the SIG spray.
Yeah.
He'll come over to you, and you like equip the SIG spray and blast him real quick. But the fake death pill only works once. He won't fall for it again.
Yeah, none of them will fall for it twice. So, all right. Good. I like that we got to talk at the end. I love this. Oh, this boss fight's so good.
I'm bummed that I didn't have enough time to get my second playthrough going, because while I find it easiest to take that crock shot to move through the game, I really do enjoy this fight. And I'm still going to do it on my own time, but I kind of wished I was able to talk about it in depth.
Well, maybe if you got time when we do the Cobra unit, I'll let you sneak in a little gameplay segment there.
All right. I'll hold you to that.
Yeah, a little teaser there. So we beat the end. We get a really cool little monologue from him just about, the days of battle, all the stuff going on. And he has he does his explosion. And I guess the crazy vines, because he has control over like plant life and stuff, the vines sort of like not stretch out from over the tunnel that you can't get into. And he does his explosion. I only was able to get the Mosin Nagant, which is his tranquilizing gun, his sniper rifle. I was not able to get the Moss camo, and the Moss camo is amazing. Like, it's the only time you can actually get 100% camo without quote unquote like cheating or fudging the system. You can get 95% and then add 5% with the right face paint. And you can charge your stamina if it's daylight, if you're in the sunlight, which is really cool. I really wanted that, and I couldn't do it. I got the gun, but I couldn't do it.
It's okay, Warren. We still like you.
Thank you. I'm just being honest. I don't want to lie and say, "Oh yeah, I got that camo," because I'm gonna catch myself in the lie later, and I'm gonna get fucking ridiculed on the internet.
I sure as shit didn't get the camo.
We're about transparency here.
But we have to be.
Yeah.
So we're in a tunnel, and we walk up to just a ladder. We're on our way out of that jungle, right? And unfortunately, we're gonna have to talk about that ladder on one of the next episodes.
But I just did like 100 squats getting ready for this ladder.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to wrap up another episode of Metal Gear Monday's Revengeance. So the next episode that will come out will be a story and gameplay focused episode. We're going to talk about the boss fight. We've just left this. We're going to talk about that damn ladder. We're going to go all the way to Ghostad. We'll go into all that when the time comes. So thanks everyone for listening. Wherever you do listen, give us a rate and a review if you have time. It really does go a long way. If you want to find socials for past and previous hosts, you can go to MetalGearMondays.com. You can always talk to us at Facebook and Instagram at Metal Gear Mondays. You can go to Twitter at Metal Gear Monday. I will shout out to Patreon because you guys have been doing a fucking awesome job. So much happens when I'm not around. And with that Discord, holy crap. But for a buck, you guys could get into the Discord. It's a really awesome community. I can't believe how much life is going on in this right now. And again, we're starting the monthly game club, which is going to be really exciting. And for $2, you get extra episodes. You can get discount on merch. There's a lot of stuff going on there. Feel free to look us up on that. We're at Metal Gear Mondays, and you can get discount on merch at bit.ly/MGM store. You can also find that on Patreon officially, if I'm not mistaken. So you can get merch right there through Patreon, which would be great. Mm-hmm. Other than that, Chris, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Chris Hampton II on Twitter and Instagram, LinkedIn. Find me on the Discord.
What about you, Tori?
I am on Instagram and Twitter and the Discord and Facebook * as Young Neil / Tori Cortez *. Also *. I don't know why I'm wanting to say this word so much, but it's fun. I've been getting I've been getting some requests on Facebook, and I'll definitely add you. I'm happy to, especially if you leave me a message that says you're from the podcast community, but don't expect anything.
Exciting there.
I haven't been on Facebook in a long time, and I wouldn't be on it if it weren't for the show. So that's my reigning endorsement of Facebook.
Totally with you. So yeah, you can find me at Warren Minix literally everywhere. And if it's a gamer tag, it's Untaggable Gamer, which I don't play internet games. So maybe you can like sneak my trophy list or something, but not really a thing for me. I am in a band, Spooky Forest. You can find us at Spooky Forest Band. We had an album out on Spotify, which would be really dope if you guys want to give it a listen.
Go listen to it. It's a fun listen.
Hell yeah.
It's good sounds.
Thanks, guys. Are you guys looking forward to next episode? I'm getting excited to talk about Groznygrad.
Oh yeah.
Always looking forward to the next.
Yeah. Oh, and Goal Place. Yeah, exactly.
Goal Place. Yes. I thought it was Goal City.
Oh yeah, that's right. Goal City.
I'm so pumped for that again. Like Groznygrad. Well, we've talked about it before. That concept of what was like a wow moment in a game. Groznygrad was a wow moment for me. So I'm excited to get into details about that when we get to the next step.
That will be fun.
Yeah. So thanks again, y'all, and we will catch you on the next episode of Metal Gear Mondays. Other than that, I think it's time to let it rip, Jack.
Let it rip.
Rip.
Oh shit.